honored to be speaking to Julia von Heinz today, who directed Und morgen, ganze Welt, a film that was part of the Venice competition this year and that features in our focus on German cinema. Thank you for joining us today, Julia.
Thank you for having me.
First of all, I wanted to ask, how are you? How have you been coping with a global health crisis? Your film premiered during, almost during this crisis in Venice. How did it go?
That was such a relief for us. And we had the film finished in March, and we had aimed for Munich, which is a great festival here in my hometown. And then this was canceled, other festivals were canceled, and I really had to comfort my actors and everyone else. I said, yeah, perhaps we bring this film next year or 2021. And I had to convince them we haven't shot that in vain. Sometimes I thought it myself. But when the invitation to Venice came, and also the information that Venice will take place, was such a relief, and it was just the greatest time. It was 3 days in Venice. We were 40 people and even more who attended the film festival. Wow. We all came from Germany, and it was like a dream. Yeah.
I read that the film was inspired by your own personal experience. Can you explain a bit what triggered you into making this film?
It was a very important a decade in my life, let's say from 15 to 25, that I joined this left-wing group, the Antifa in Germany. We neo-Nazis were new at that time. Now we know it, but in the 90s, early 90s, it was something very new and frightening in Germany. And so I joined that group, and that was a very intense and important time in my life. And shortly after, 20 years ago, I started writing a script about that time. And it, the first draft is from the year 2000. And since then, I wanted to make that film, but now is the right time for it.
So it's your very own story, or is it based on the things you experienced at that time?
It's not my own story, because my own story was not interesting enough for film. I never shot a gun, and I never found explosive stuff, but other things from the film happened to me, and many of the motivations, of the emotions, and also a lot of situations come from my personal experience.
Yeah. Why did you choose to film it today and not at the time that you joined the group?
When we wrote the script, it was set in the 90s. It was a historical film, and I wanted to do it like that. But about 3 years ago, we noticed how everything changed in Germany, how the AfD became more and more voices. It went stronger. The fascism rose again, actually. And it's very strong at the moment, stronger than it was in the 90s, I think. So it didn't make sense at all to say it's a historic phenomenon. We have to bring it in the here and now.
It is a phenomenon in Belgium as well. We had a march this weekend of the extreme right. Yes, yeah. It's very frightening. Do you have the idea that your film could change opinions or views of people, and how do you hope to achieve that?
Yes, I think films can make a change and can make a difference. It's very clear that films can make the world a worse place. That is very easy to answer. I mean, we have propaganda films, we have films that sexualize women in a bad way. So we all agree films can make the world a worse place. So in the opposite, I'm totally convinced that it can make the world a better place. I'm sorry. And I had some screenings now, and I noticed that people really talk about what can we do? Do we have to do something? And how can we go? People talk about it. So that's already a better situation than before they watched the film.
Yeah. It is a political film. Aren't you afraid that the reception will be politicized and maybe used in a wrong way? in a way you don't want it?
I didn't make it easy for myself. I didn't say left-wing people are perfect and this is they're all heroes. No, everybody's compromised in that film. We see a lot of white privileged people fighting against Nazis. So they can always choose, will I do that again tomorrow or next year, or will I just leave? They can choose it. So this is quite a precise and also critical view on that left-wing movement. So of course, not everybody is happy to see that. Also right-wing people are probably not very happy to see that. So I see there will be a lot of discussion and also a lot of people who will not agree with my film, but I aimed for that. I wanted that.
Yeah.
Yes.
That they start thinking about it and talking about it.
And we need the discussion.
Yeah. Why? The background, as
some people asked, why are there not more people with dark skin? Why is it not even more diverse? Because this is how these groups look like in Germany. And I have the feeling if I have dark skin, I can't even afford to get into that trouble with the police, go to demonstrations and all that. So this is something I want to show and to talk about. Yeah,
indeed, your protagonists are both from privileged backgrounds. Huh?
Yes.
That was on purpose. Yeah. Some of the scenes are really the police raids and the camera is really into the action. How hard was it to shoot those scenes? Was it a big team or?
We chose this very personal perspective. We are always with Luisa. There's never a wide shot. There's only one wide shot in the whole film after she hears this concert and she stands there all alone. This is the only wide shot. Every other shot is with her, either with her, we walk with her into the scene and then we see the reverse shot, how she reacts. So this is how we shot the whole movie, and which made us hope that we would have a very strong connection to her, the audience. There's nothing between the audience and Luisa. It was quite a struggle for my camera operator to shoot that, and also for the main actress. They had to be such a tight team. They had to be in the same steps all the time. They were stuck together and stick together, and but they really got on and liked each other, so it was possible. I wish we had a smaller team. I tried that, but then, I don't know, it exploded again, and we were quite a lot of people because we had so many extras and all that. But I had a great team. We had very, very little money, so we really had to convince people to join in and to work for free sometimes, or work for food, the extras and all that. And I feel that this energy from everybody, they really wanted to join that film. And I think as a result, this is good.
Yeah. They all want to make the statement with the film. Yeah. Your lead role, the actress is really is an amazing actress. How did you find her?
I did a TV movie 2 years before about the wife of Martin Luther, and she was in a small part there. She was one of the nuns, and I really liked her then. But I don't know why I didn't think about her when I casted this film, and I did a lot of castings. And then Daniela, again, my camera operator, she said, what about Mala? She was great. And I said, yeah, of course, she is great. And we invited her, and she totally convinced us again.
How hard was it to direct somebody that plays in a certain way your own self?
Yeah.
Because the character was based on what
we didn't talk about it so much. We talked more about the character in the script. But when she had questions, I could answer it quite easily because I could answer it in a personal way. But I think she made something on her own. I don't see myself in that Luisa. I think Mala, she made a whole new character out of it.
As we said before, the film is very timely. There's a lot of things happening in the world today, in society right now. How are you looking at the future? Are you optimistic about the future, what's happening and what's...
I think there's a generation coming up now that is more political than the one before. I can see that also with my children. They are 17, 18 now, my older ones, and I can see that they are aware, they're very well informed. They go to the Friday for Future demonstrations. They talk about everything. I think they will react if there is a danger or fascist danger. So I'm optimistic.
You're okay. We should be optimistic, no? And tell the story, and that's important, I think. Apart from your personal experience, the film also perhaps has other sources of influence. I immediately, when I watched the film, I thought of La Haine or the German film The Educators, for example. I don't know if you know the films. Were there any influences from other films in your work?
Yes, I think there are actually too few political films from Germany, but I watched them all. And most of them are very important for me. There is Margarete von Trotter's, it's called Die Bleierne Zeit. I think in English it's Mariette and Julia or something. It also asks the question about violence as a political mean. We have the Educators, we have Fatih Akins in The Fade. There was one, it was called Winter's Tale from Jan Bonny about the NSU trio. And all those films were important, and I hoped to make a film in that, for me, important tradition.
I noticed that you thanked the filmmaker Margarete von Trotta on your credits. Actually, we will be showing in our German focus the Blind Sites during
the festival. I saw that in the internet. So
audiences. Yeah. Perhaps how do you look at figures like Donald Trump, who want to designate Antifa as a terrorist organization?
I was so surprised when that came up, because last year when I talked about Antifa, people said, does that still exist? Isn't that a phenomenon of the 90s? Are you sure Antifa doesn't even exist now? And I said, yes, of course. There's so many groups, and I visited them and I did my research. And when Donald Trump put that Antifa in his Twitter thing again, no one asked me again. So in a way, in a perverse way, he helped me to make clear it exists.
To convince you to tell the story.
I think it's criminal of him to criminalize it. There's not even an organization with a membership card that's called the Antifa. Of course, it's something you feel and you do and you join, but it's not this organization like he tries to tell us.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much for, I don't know if you have any additional things that you want to tell our Flemish audience.
No, I wish I was there to see their reactions. It's only the second screening of my film. I saw it once now in Venice, so it would be the second time. So actually, I really want to see how they react, and perhaps they can find me easily on Facebook and Instagram with my name. So if anyone has any question or wants to talk to me, I'm very happy to answer every question and to see how they liked the film or disliked it.
That's great.
There.
And hopefully we'll meet each other in one of the upcoming editions with perhaps a new film here in Ghent.